Hello, this is Mar171. I've decided that I'm going to do a series of field strip videos to show people how to break down just general firearms and how to reassemble them. That way they can I'm thinking it will make it easier for people to clean their guns, maintenance their guns. So I wanted to start with my 1911 because it's the most popular semi-automatic handgun around, has been for 100 years, and just kind of give you all a breakdown. So I got out my Wilson Combat. You can see I already took the grips off. Those are just 2 screws per grip. I just thought it would take too much time on camera to do, so there we go. And that's what you're going to see once you remove the grips. You should always check, make sure it's unloaded. As you can see there, it is unloaded. We'll lock that back. There's the breech. There's no magazine, so we can proceed. And there are several ways to do this. A lot of people will shortcut at this point and just remove the slide stop by pulling back to the spot. Now, but then you have to hold the slide under spring tension. Now, a lot of people who do it a lot will just do that, and that's okay. That's not going to hurt anything. But it is recommended that people should remove the bushing before that and relieve the recoil spring tension. Now, a lot of 1911s come with the tool to do that. You can do it with your thumb. If you notice, you can push that down. This is not a one-piece rod, recoil rod, so that's just a short step to do it this way. But I'm going to use the tool just to demonstrate the tool use. That way, because a lot of people don't have the thumb strength to do it and then turn the bushing. So I'm just going to demonstrate the tool. And remember, once you turn this, now at that point I like to remove the tool. But as you turn this, you can it will be under spring pressure. You can see the spring sticks out. It will be under an immense amount of spring pressure. This one particularly has a 17.5 pound recoil spring in it, which is light for a 45. So it's going to have about 17 pounds of push. So you better have a hold of it. It will shoot across the room. Wear safety glasses. That's my recommendation. And don't point it at your face. I did it in front of the camera, but I figure if it shoots off and hits the camera, camera's supposed to be shockproof anyway. Ha. So anyway, remove that, and now when you slide back the slide, pull back the slide, notice there's no spring tension. You can just remove the slide stop. No problem. Gotta line it up first. See if I zoom in here. That's the slide stop. Now you line that up with the groove in the slide. You should be able to push it out. Forgive me, I'm doing this through a camera. It's not the easiest thing to see. Now, you'll be pushing this in, where it sticks out the other side. As you can tell, I've already popped it out. You'll be able to grab it and remove it. There you go. Now, with that done, everything will slide off the front, as so. Boom. Now that's all most people should ever have to do with the lower half. Now, if anybody's interested, I'll take it completely down, every single part out of it. Later, if there's enough demand for it, and I'll show you how a full piece-by-piece breakdown of the lower occurs. A lot of people like to push that out during the cleaning process, which will expose the sear spring and hammer strut and the mainspring. This is the mainspring housing, so it will expose all of that, and you'll be able to clean and oil that. Again, that comes out under spring pressure. You need a punch to remove it. This is the upper. Now this is, again, just a field strip, just so you can clean it. I would have a qualified gunsmith deal with it if you're going to go beyond the points I show you today. Now, but anyway, back to dealing with it. As you can see, I pulled the recoil spring out with the recoil rod. Now you have this part. Spin it the other direction, you'll feel it stop. At that point you'll be able to remove it by hand. Now this one's just pretty tight, and a lot of these Wilson Combats are that way. A lot of guns, this is a lot looser and easier to deal with. And so if you can't get it going, you can start it. Do not let whatever you do slip. It will make a shiny spot. Will really hurt the cosmetics of your 1911. But once it's started, you're able to just wiggle it out of there. There you go. Now, with that out, you're able to take the barrel, slide it out the front. Make sure your link is down. If your link's up, it can get in the way, but this one, it's got enough. You can see it hitting right there. Just push it down, it comes right out of there. As you can see, this one's pretty dirty. That's alright. That's a field strip. That's where field strip ends. Now you can go down farther than this. Like I said, I will take it down farther than this if there's enough call for it. But right now, that's as far as I'm going to take it. That's all you're going to need to do to really maintenance these particular guns. Like I said, a lot of people will remove that pin, pull the whole mainspring housing out, and that's fine. That's good. And the farther you can take it reliably and get it back reliably, the better. But like I said, you better know what you're doing, and I'll do a video on it if people want me to. But most people will just ever field strip it, and a lot of people just have it cleaned once a year by a qualified gunsmith shop, and that's all you really need to do, unless you're just heavily using your 1911. Okay, thank you. Now, for reassembling the 1911 from the field strip position, you're going to first have to take the barrel. Notice the barrel lugs are going to have to line up with the grooves in the slide. Now, for anybody who's asking what any of this white gunk is, it's TW25B oil grease compound by Milcom. It's a really good grease compound. Works great on things like this. And it's just really a really light grease or a really heavy oil, whatever you want to really consider the balance is to it. I just like the balance. So anyway, slide the barrel in. You'll notice it locks into the grooves. Won't go forward or backwards. Then you take the bushing. Notice the groove on the bushing right here has to fit into the slot underneath the barrel for the bushing to work right, for reassembly to work right. So you take that, push it down there. Notice that it's cranked to the side once it's flush. Well, we're going to have to turn it till it's on the other side. These can get pretty stiff. Notice that it's now turned. Now, if it's too stiff for you to turn with your thumb, you can get your tool back out. That will allow you to put enough leverage on it to turn it. Now, I have the short recoil rod. It's not a two-piece recoil rod, which will have to be assembled with an Allen wrench, the second half. Those who have that will know what I'm talking about. This one will just go in. It's just a short recoil rod. Now next, you want to make sure your link is down, but not all the way down. Just down enough to where it's out of the way. And you can slide everything together onto the slide, like so. Alright, well that's great. Now you want to bring the groove of the slide to where it lines up so that you put the slide stop in. Now those of you looking, notice the link is not down far enough. We're going to have to bring it down a little bit. There we go. See, you can see it starting to fall. Zoom in a little more. That's the link right there. Well, we need that to line up with the hole. Like so. Now notice it's lined up with the hole. Now we'll be able to put the slide stop in there. At this point, a lot of people get what's called a dummy shine spot, which is where there's a line goes up into the slot for the slide stop to go in. That's caused by pressing down and sliding this up at the same time. Don't do that. I know a lot of books tell you to do that. It gives you the dummy line. Don't do that. Instead, once that's in, notice it will go in all the way. Pull it up, line up the groove of the slide stop, the slanted spot right here, with the plunger. Now, I'll put that back in. Just so you don't create that dummy line. Do not rest it on the receiver. Rest it on that plunger. When you press in, the plunger will depress and you'll be lined up. Notice no dummy groove, no dummy line. Now with that in, you'll be able to push the slide forward. Don't push it forward hard, just push it forward, like so. Now, for the recoil plug, this has to be done under spring pressure. Push that down, and then at that point you'll be able to turn the bushing to where it locks up like that. Now with that locked up, you'll be able to put the tool on if you need the tool. Press down to where it presses the plug, and then turn it till it lines up again. Now with it lined up, you'll be able to see whether it's going to work right. If it's going to slide off or line up or anything's offline or whatever. But do not just bring it back and then slam it forward. That's bad for any drop barrel gun. Real bad on the lugs. Only do that when there's rounds in it. Now next you need to put on the grips. And I guess I'll put on the grips now so that you can see them get put on, since I started this with them off. Line up the holes with the screws. I don't think this is a complicated scenario for anybody viewing. And then just tighten your grips down. Now don't over torque these. A lot of people like to over torque these into the bushings. I'll show you the bushings on the other side. If you do that, it can actually bind up into the bushing. You can wind up stripping the screw head or stripping the or pulling the whole bushing out when you take it out. That's a pain. So just get them snug. Maybe 15 to 20 inch-pounds of torque, so not anything major. If they don't hold snug while shooting, tighten them a little more. Alright, now I was talking about bushings. Bushings on a 1911 for the grip bushings are these guys. These are threaded in there. Often they're staked down to where you really can't remove them very easy. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're Loctited down. Sometimes they're just in there and they can come right on out. These are Loctited down. I replaced them, so I ended up Loctiting them. Now you might want to note on these grips, these are cut for an ambi safety, which this gun does not have. There's the cut. So it won't matter about lining that up, but if you did have an ambi safety, you need to make sure that the bar coming off the ambi safety fits in that groove. Now, again, you put the screws on with the holes, with the bushings, and you want to just tighten them down. Again, 15 to 20 inch-pounds be where I'd start on snug. If they start loosening, I go up to 30 to 60. I mean, anywhere in there. Whatever starts tightening them down. You don't want to get them too tight, though. You just want them snug. Want them where they don't come out. Some people will blue Loctite those in. Blue Loctite's really not too bad. If you put red on it, you're going to take that bushing with you. Or you're going to strip the screw head. These are Allen heads, so I mean, they're hex heads, so you can get a little bit more leverage on them if you want to. I wouldn't, again, for the previous mentioned reasons. But then once the grips are on, you'll notice that it is fully reassembled. Safety check it just to make sure. That's the beaver tail safety, so you want to notice that you can't pull it. When this is depressed, you'll notice you can pull it. The hammer resets, that's a good sign. Check, you can turn it upside down, see if the slide stop engages. If it does, most often this plug isn't working. Obviously this one didn't. It can, so that's a good sign. It does move. And again, it's just a safety check. Beaver tail safety's working. Normal safety's working. So there you go. This is a Series 70, so it doesn't have a firing pin push safety. So you don't have to worry about checking that. You would check that while it's disassembled though. And this is Mar171. This is the first of my field strip videos. I hope it was helpful to somebody. And just wanted to film this video for you guys. And if you have a gun in mind you just want to see field strip, message me or comment or anything, and I'll see if A, I have it, or B, when I'll do it, I'll bump it to the front of the list. There's a gun in particular that people want to see field strip. But Mar171, thank you for watching. I'm signing off. Please subscribe. I'll keep the videos coming.